Thank you for taking the morning session to answer those questions.
An keranzo la tushin nang shue yos kaila na tsokden thangbo de keranzo yita len de la tuzu de matang ra de len ge de la tushin nang shue yis.
Those questions also give you an idea about the different topics we're going to cover over the next week.
Di la du thanda tiwa de ma keranzo ma lo ra di lo du wala tiwa de na khari chu de lo na di dunda ching na khari thie me yora joshi de sama chu de rest na.
And at the end of this the end of this physics class, this 1 week class, we're going to ask you to answer those questions again.
Ta de dunda ching nga zinda di lo chi du ra di cha cha ye je la ni ya thanda tiwa thagarang ya keranzo la len de shue yis.
And you know, we have a very sort of strange way of thinking about these questions.
Di la du ngaran so tiwa de zol ta samlo dang da laura di this manda ro ju res.
We think of these questions not as a matter of how good a student you are, but how effective we are as instructors.
Dila du di tiwa di kyanzo khagas yaglo du ta lobtu yaglo khagas du di ta je che choda che mares. Dila du ngaran so lobti chhe ga su ta lobti chi jo di khagas phento bu chung sha di ta res ngaran zo ni khagas yaglo chi sha di ta ya di cha du res.
And so we're very curious we're actually we really want to help you understand these ideas over the next week.
Dila du ta dinala idea samchu mangbu jura di ani dunda di nanglo la sangma ma thie yes.
So a big idea in physics that we're going to talk about is this idea of force.
Ta danda nganzo mo kam riban ta big idea la na samchu che do laura zo do di ta thanda khari cha dur la na shuk la force la na shuk laura shuk di cha dur res.
So I think it's worth writing on the board in maybe both English and Tibetan.
Tanda di thangi de zogarbang gal ma thisha was inji da phui ni ga wala ra.
So we really want to encourage you to use your notebooks during this week to write down ideas you have, write down the ideas that we share, but also use your notebook to write down maybe questions that you still have.
Ta keran zu thanda ma thidep tram so di thidep de pheju chiro chis an digal thanda ma zu thangi mangbush li ra sa din zu thia che an thega na shi so so ngoni ya sindi gya na di gya che digal ani so so gi thiwa da thokba khari le na di changma ma pap sharo chis thidep de pheju chiro chis.
So we will start by trying to understand what this word means.
Ta ngaran zu thanda khari she gi thapchi chigur chegi yor la wa na thangi di khari lagi yore la jora di khari khande chi kho khande chi li yore la di she di res.
So we would like us to think of force as a push or a pull.
Ta kiran zu thanda shuk la shda di khande chi la samlo tang ur la na push la na byuba yang na pull la na themba di antende chi shuk la res tende chi samlo shas.
Is there a difference between a push and a pull?
Ta thanda byuba da themba la jora di ni la khebar yor res. Yes.
What differences do you think are between those two words?
Ta thanda byuba da themba lan thangi ni do di ni la khebar yor sung ra di la do en khebar khari yor res di ni la. One is towards you, one is like just opposite.
So one idea is that a push is something that happens away from you, and a pull is something that happens towards you.
The can do some to share the rosa. Bubalana susuni ma taringa young did ni tembalana susu chola ten, the little she ros.
Do you agree?
Some of US adilla. Some Judilla US.
So let's think more about that.
The digala some tende some lumash time does.
Is this a push or a pull?
Tanda chiknang so the bubare tembares.
It's a push, okay? Is this a push or a pull?
The deep bubare tembares and the chiknang a pull.
This is a pull. Is this a push or a pull?
Ta di bu bare them bare sa ta chik nang do. Most of them are saying pull and some of them are saying push.
Is this a push or a pull?
Ta di bu bare them bare sa. Most of them are saying push. No.
Is this a push or a pull? Does the chair who is experiencing the force, does it know the difference?
Ta thanda nga chu ma di ta ji chisa di chok di gubja di cha de ra di ge ani khari ta chora ro la ora khandis le de res the yo chu re na bi ba chu res ta di ngo bu di so this group is saying it's a pull, it's experiencing a pull, the chair.
So the chair is experiencing a pull in this
Ta
case?
thanda indu them bare so ra yes.
And how about in this case?
Thanda di na
Is my hand doing anything different? Is my hand doing anything different?
ta thanda din de chi du ga la nge la pa di manda wa ji chi du las this loga do ji cha du las din de chi du yes.
If you only had a picture of my hand but not my body, would you be able to tell if it was a push or a pull?
Ta thanda dus ta du cha jang thong go ra kisi la pa chi bu ji thong go na khan sui an khan sui she tu res di them bare bi bare khari re la wa na la pa chi bu yo na cho ku kya di ga she tu mare dekhan se.
So then, if it is a push or a pull, it has to do with the body, not with the hand and the chair.
Ta thanda nga cho the da bi ba la jo ra di la di suk da de cha do as di la di thanda la pa da cho ku kya di la di cha yo ma ro as suk di ta yo ro as jo.
So then, it is possible for us to think of all forces not as pushes or pulls, but only of pushes. As pushes.
Just as pushes. Ta nga zo shuk chang ma ta na chi dang gi di la du nga ro so sam su len dang di la kisi bue da the ma she chi ra bue chi pu ji chi jo chi wa nas da shuk la ke she ge.
What evidence do we have that I am pushing the chair?
Ta thanda ngi gi ku bja di bu ja tang du la jo ra dil pang da khari yo res. Because the chair is moving.
Because the chair was moving is one kind of evidence.
Okay. Pangda chik di cha so sa di kubja di kuju tang dus lang.
What evidence can we have if the chair is not moving?
Ta thanda kuju tang du la ra kesi kuju tang gi mena an pangda shimba khari yo res. Na so we can see the contact between our hand and the chair, so we can say there is a force.
Okay, so in some situations the chair will move, in some situations the chair will not move.
Ta nedang minda yunguras khashe kabre khari yungur lawaina gubja di bujo tang res kabre khari lana gubja di bujo tang mares.
And so you're saying that I can look at my fingers and Brycela.
Ta thanda dus ta du ngaran choi thong duas thong thupu duas ngarang gi zubuda Bryce ki subudi ngaju thong thu res.
So we can look then for visible evidence of a force by the squishing of my fingers.
Dila du shu yere la de chik khande ngaju thong thur la ina tat pangdar lan shira dila du gala zubud ente man nem du gal ma tis ma kong du da di ngaju thong ruas thong thuwe gi ta ngobu cha de ruas.
Does the chair also change its form when I push?
Ta dinde bigu da di bija tandu gala ani thanda di khorang gi 조제 코란기다 딜라오라 number 딜라 유어도 모델 유어도 스투드스. Yes, there's a change.
Okay, then let us use that idea that we can see evidence, direct evidence of pushes without looking at the motion.
딜라도 단당한조 슉라게 시두가라 찍다 요구 치도 요구 매여간라 당한조 단다 슉디기 방다디 가란조 다이레스다 방다 카리카리 요미지라.
When the chair moves, are my fingers squished?
단다 굽자디 구조 당도 갈랑 한조 니 주고디 마 공공 차도도 아스마님디 만년 주고 레스.
Is the chair squished?
니 태어나시 주고디 마 공공 차유라 조디 굽자디 갈 토디 마 비제 당도 태어나시 조 굽자디라 디 차유 레스 공공 차유 요 마레스라 주고나시. Some of them are saying yes, some are saying no.
Can I understand the two positions? Can somebody who says yes explain? Somebody who says no explain?
단다 주고 공공 차이다 디로 조제 곱제디 공공 차이 레스라 디 캔츠 차이 마레 송라 같이 차이 레 송래 차이 레라던 디시지게 게스 송도라 켈레 안 파니니 차이 마레 송사 디 차이 마레 송에 디 칸데 스트레스리 캔츠 네 삼주 커리 스테시 게스
집도 바치라 이게 집도 바치라 나와 이제 세무 이제 나와 이제 지기레고 좋아하고 예쁘게 좋아하고
gigla yo dure laura. So when we hold a cup, so there is some changes to the cup as well when we are holding that cup at that moment.
So this is the yes.
Yes.
Okay. How about can we hear an argument from the people who say no?
Dila ke gubja dil jo du yo mare la jora zugula di tor nashi di mere stungi jora di kiran zu dishi khari yes.
Dila is 이게 뭐가 라사죠라 라사데 차고 얘기 라고 인용에 얘기해 차고들은 그제 대한 요구를
So the object, there is a difference in objects. So object may be flexible or the object may be solid and tough. So it depends whether there is a change or not. If it's flexible, there's a change. If it's hard, there's no change.
So not always. You are saying in some cases I can see evidence of a force by the squishing of my fingers, but sometimes the object, you can see it being squished and sometimes it does not squish. So what evidence would I use? Here is an object which is not very elastic. And so can I use any evidence that there is a force exerted by the object on my hand?
Yes, there is evidence.
What evidence would that be?
So the evidence is, for instance, if we throw a ball on the wall, so it bounces back. So that means there is some force acting on the ball.
Okay. So then I could imagine that the wall is a very stiff chair. Okay. So we have decided to think of forces as pushes or pulls, but we can just think of them in terms of pushes.
ngazunge ni ta shukla dugala the yana bua di tsiros dila dungaram so ta di situation digures force la shukla di bua chikbu chil si sha si gyawainas si jo chiwainas.
And we have also now decided to look for evidence that a force is exerted.
Dila dugala ta thanda shuk gyagi yor la jora di yor la dila ngazo pangda che di go chu ros pangda khari khari me ta di.
So what we're going to do next is we are going to break you up in groups, and we are going to put together a force meter.
Dila duda thanda ngaran so di jela khari chigar lana thanda jinda dina ruga ruga sues ruga ruga nang lo la khiran so thanda taji khari chigar lana force meter lana shugi jel se laura di shugi jel che dinde roji taji na is.
So your force meter will be a meter stick.
Ta shuk jel che jora force meter dina khari lana ngazo thiksing jua di pheju chigres.
Interesting that the force meter has a meter stick.
Da di ha yamjin bu rosh twas ta shugi jel che ro chagura shuk jel che dina ngazo thiksing pheju chigres.
So it's a way we can measure the force.
Ta di thaplam chi khari ra or lana ngazo di thanda shuk khaju me jora se je di jel tu yures.
So it has a paper clip.
Dina ngazo shobu jinche juya di pheju chigres.
And a rubber band.
Ni gita di pheju chigres.
And you tie just a little piece of string so you can pull on it.
An thanda gita digala an kuba chunju pheju chini dam chigres. Dila dugal kuba di ma theni gita di ma the pheju chigres.
And we want you to make, thank you, and some cell tape around the top so that the paper clip doesn't fly away.
The shobu jinche juya diga gargoda khacheni. Di jar ani digal thanda ngazo selotop jar zi juya di ma kor shawres chani.
So in groups, can they make two? I think each group can make two of these.
Ta ruga re ni thanda di jelche shdo di yuji ni sueres ruga chig ni.
And we're hoping that maybe a few monks here can turn around and make a group with a few monks here, and so on. And there would be about 18 or so groups in the room.
Dila duga ruga sue duga lara ta khashe ma gyab la ta chera and ruga chig chagra and chin kiran nang lo ta ruga sue aina ruga chupkes ro chagres.
So like 3 of you can make a group with these 2, and then you 3 can make a group with these 2.
Ta pesha aina kiran sumda kiran ni domna ruga chig minga chaso thana shi kiran sum kiran ni minga ruga niwa and chin ruga suro ches.
So maybe average group size is 5, but no more than 6.
Ta chanyom gi chero ta aina ruga chig na mi khaju chagi na minga sam chagi do ngas chine thulel ha ma suro ches ruga chig na.
So why don't you form groups, or we'll let you do this on your own.
Ta thanda di sue ora miristic di sue indugala kiran ruga suro ches. Ilo ruga na minga thulel ha ma suro ches la ruga chig na.
And then you can send one representative from your group to come and collect supplies.
Ta ruga na ni mi nga thu yu dugala michik dela phero ches ta chala den le ora dilenga michik phero ches.
Okay?
Ta kiran ruga gela kuran su sue ma su nangoi ni suro chira ruga minga thu.
So we would like you to explore your force meter.
Ta susu ngoni chöship che jora thanda shuk jelche suimba susu ngoni chöship che explore lana susu rang ni chöship che di nangro ches.
And discuss in your groups what kinds of things do you observe, what kinds of things do you notice.
Ta thanda ta ji chira di che kap su khiran zu ngoni tokship khari chungu do shipta khari chungu do di khiran zu ani pha su thudur nangro ches.
So discuss it in your groups, and we would like to hear from a few groups in a moment.
다 당보 소소 로간 나로 저두 나로 제스라 디 젤 아니 겔라 코란즈 키란즈 삼주 커리 이미지라 저두 나니 디 야예 이스 네 단다 디 지고스도 상마 당에 민둘레스 제산 키란즈 지 표주 치사요 젤 아니 로가 셴발 당로 실로
It's good. Some of you are being quite clever and hanging the weights we gave, but also some of you are hanging other things that you find like scissors. That's wonderful.
단다 망치야 계란수 단다 장도 마tamsa 디 표주 치기도 산 카시 메교도 참제데 된조 표주 치기도 카시 표주하고 당도스디 참제 카시 잘라 단다 지고스도 단다 도디 장도디 메오에나 카시 참제데 된 표주 치기도 디게 디샤스 나 계란수 딱지 치고라 한 떡십 치기 가리가리 떡십 중고도 막 question dir 장도로지 디치도 된데 치기도 올라니 여라다 딱지 치도가 가리가리 떡십 중소 온데 좀 share 좀
So here, take this out. And let go. Here.
It is wonderful to see you investigating.
딱 계란수 딱 십체 톤이 딱 근데 최시 망고 쉬우지 치더라 니 통화니 가고 총선스 야고 쉬우시는 거 도스 계란수
As you explore with your force meter, I would like to ask you some additional questions.
딱 근데 계란수 최시 나온데라 딱지 치어가서 디가 나니 말한 게 지와 하시지 마타이스
When you have hung an object from the string, what evidence do you use that there is a force exerted on the string?
딱 근데 말한 주 딱지 치어가서 나 뭐보지 근데 구바디가 마 장셔라 디 장도 걸라다 캔수기다 방다 가리 표주 치유열스 칸데스 표주 치니 다들라 슈지열에 내줘라 딜 방다 가리 요레스 So when there is no object hanging there, the mirror scale reads like 7 centimeter, and like when we hang an object, so it comes down, so which means there's a force acting on it.
Okay, so you are using the extension of the rubber band as evidence that there is a force that is exerted on the string.
다든다 방다 하르 란직 디셰사 쿠바디 마 텐조 디셰사 딜라두갈라 탄다 기타 디마 카가스 테메 주라 디크란 주 방다라 페주 치르와스 슈비요라 라이저라 기타 텐조라 딜 방다 디크란 주 디치조 치샤스
So we would like you to work with the other groups to see if we can develop any rule about the number of things that we hang and the extension on the spring, on the rubber band.
다 루가 수수 루가 찍부나 많이 바체 루가 신바님도 조돌치니라 당하런 저기 잘라 뭐고 찍다와 장와이나 가가스 리고 니 장와이나 가가스 망용지요라 딜타니 안테 가가스 메 디토라 키란주 펜준 조돌 나로 치스라 안디간다 타팀 로지 리그도스 디가로 제주체이스
And please write down what you're noticing.
아니 겔라키란소 단다 똑십 치되어라 당제 치되 아니 똑십 가리가리 중앙 상마 키란 좀마 대난 치료 치스라
What are you measuring? Where are you measuring?
제 가리 개요 아니 거니 개요서 거라 개요서 개서
Are you measuring the bottom of this? Or are you measuring
세 개도
this?
딱 개요라 데니 개요 가니
They're measuring the bottom of that. Each time they measure the bottom of that.
제 가도 개요나 제 단다 장도 누구요 상마 대하라는 누구요 라스와니 Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, as long as you're consistent.
지보지경 거 조당 지보지경 로거라. 얘는 뭐 되네 고추는 jel에 다랑 고 지보지경 로고 그래서.
드라이는 나가 자주 돼.
나.
니는 니는
그래 뒤와 요 라오래. So he said he has a question.
Yeah?
네 그게 요한디 지코게 하고 오도마도 식세대 가는지 하고.
So by this activity or experiment, we can just know how much weight this object has, and not about force. We're not understanding about force by this activity.
So, why is this changing shape?
지코
이게 입지도 하시니 주어주고 그래라.
지코게 용어.
Because of this weight.
세대 용어만 용어.
Because of the weight.
But this weight is doing something.
디 지세디 찍치기 요로알라스.
지지요. 제라지 용어.
Yes.
This weight is providing a force on this string, and that string is providing a force on this rubber band.
디 지세디기 디 쿠바딜라 슈브지기 요로아스. 나나시 디 쿠바디기 디 기가딜라 슈브지기 요로아스.
난 데이나 데부 그만 어디 해요 말아. 잘안 되는 제 있는데 아파요도. 뒤에 넣어진 그것도 지kop지고 막 이번 그만 넣어진 텐식 용거 말아. 네 이마이나 잡아지는 네 잡아지 이마이나 네 지는 데 아파요 거라. 네 바로는 지kop 세지마도 텐식 용어만.
So take for this example, he's saying, if we push here, like if we just put our finger here, it just lifts up. So we cannot talk about force here. It's just because we can talk about weight only. He said, because of the weight of my finger, it's like.
So, this is a good question. Weight is a kind of force. If an elephant sits on you, you will feel a force.
랑진지 계란가를 내와 있나스. 랑진지 계란가 내와 있나. 계란 슉지 썰그레스. He's saying, I won't feel force, I'll feel weight.
So, we use, your point is good. We use the word force, and a weight is a kind of force. Weight can apply a force. Not always, but weight is a force.
근데 그냥 이게 주어 야구들라스 내도 야구스 렌 주샬라스 따다나 먼저 슈클라니 게저 시기 요라라스 안딜라도 지세디게 슈크 도지 차데레스 따딱바다 말에데 이네 슈기 차시 라오라다 릭도지레스 지세라디
We say that I weigh.
지세대 시리세라.
So can we say weight is force?
Weight is a force. When you think of weight, we normally think of how much mass I have.
따단나 먼저 지세라줘라 지세라도 발라 따 모볼라나레 미나레 수이나 딜라 도세 가가 수메 디 삼로 리로알스
지세대 느시기 용거.
Like I weigh a certain number of kgs.
지세대 느신이 올라가라.
So weight and mass are different, right?
Weight and mass are different.
지치디 이쪽 정도. 지치도 지친이 올라가라.
So weight and mass are different, right? He's asking.
Yes.
So is it mass is something that how many atoms or molecules atoms we have?
But we know that because we measure the weight. This group is saying that weight is this does not tell you anything about force. This tells you something about weight, because we're just measuring the weight, and weight is not a force. We will talk about this more.
Sorry?
We will talk about this more, not tomorrow, more.
Okay. Di tola kandi mangro share insa.
But you have a good question.
Joy abu dulas.
But you should keep thinking about what is happening here.
ine keran jo samlo tang goji khari gal samlo tang golana dela khari chungu du yora kan taji shidu gal di samlo tang bu yora.
You have this material, these objects. You have this string. You have this rubber band.
ta ngobo khari gar du di changdo di do changdo di yora ngobo changdo che ani kuba di yora ani giga di yores.
They are all interacting with each other.
dila du pensu jo cha di yores do da da kuba da giga da sangma.
Are you ready to share with everyone?
gila number 4 the kiranzu tanda taji namgyo di ni pensuin chudur cheda 30 USD do sasu tang 30 yuan sasu masang yuan yeah all already
What did you see any patterns in your observations?
tanda toshi chijo na la ta du gala ta dre roj jodan roj chipa roj thungu do es kyan ta taje dina dre roj jodan jura taje dina yes
Same.
there's a pattern there seeing
This is a pattern, okay? What pattern? What pattern?
ta dre do sun ra and dre khari do sa
아니 짜치린데 잠바가 센티미터이야.
centimeter chik jik so when we hang one
Will you repeat so that everyone
okay
can hear?
ale tanda kelai khari sun sunwa ina di khari sun shuwa ina ra di tanda changdo chik do chik shaw ina centimeter yangyu chik thewa ji garo ina centimeter chik ma fargi dos di khabar thon sun twe do
And sorry, and what will you?
so he said like when we hang one more stone the object it like increases by 1 centimeter the pattern is 1 centimeter difference
So the pattern that this group observed is that as they were adding more discs, for each additional disc, their rubber band extended by 1 additional centimeter.
다 단다 루가 디로 차셔이나 그런 저기 가리 손 쉬어이나 단다 장도시도 단다 데르수디 디직 태워 직직 거기 치두가라 아니 기카디야 팅그로 디테 디세니브르 직직 팅두 직 태워 거래나 세니브르 직니 거래나 니 인데시니 드웨디 텐데 레샤스 So in this group, he said like it increases by 1 centimeter when they hang 2 stones, 2 objects. Okay, so when they hang 1 object, it increases by 5 millimeter, and when they hang 2 objects, it becomes 1 centimeter.
So this group found a similar pattern. It was not exactly the same numbers, but it was a similar pattern that for every additional disc that was hung, you got the same extension.
ता थंदा दी रुगा दिना तो है ड्रे जोदान दी चिप चिक्यां रुदुस इने जंगल दिस खेबा दो ता कुरान जो छा शाव है चांदो चिक गारो है चांदो चिक थेवा गारो है अनि सेंटीमीटर ता छेगा लाउरा या मिलीमीटर ngala तिदे खेबा रुदुस
So are we measuring force?
ता अंजु 이 खरी 세제 치고라나 슉 세제 치고레스 캔주기 세제디 슉 세제 제기 요래요 말해서 한다디 슉 제기 요러스 Yes, we are measuring force.
We are measuring force. Do we agree? Do we all agree that we are measuring force? Are we measuring something else?
ता रु가 참마기 무튼 요에서 단다 안주디 단다 최고디 제대로라 디 खरी जल्दी उरलाना शुक जल्दी उरला जोरा दी samma mutu yoelas shuk mai baya shimba जल्दी दुएस this yeah wait
단데 마 티야디고 티야디기 지코 데차이는 뭐 시스티만 티데
जुको जल्दी दुस अनि
뭐 지체 뭐 디반 시스티인지도
so in this activity we are measuring just the weight not the force.
So in this activity, a group is saying that we are measuring weight, not a force.
ता 단다 रु가 디 खरी शीदलाना छेगु दी छेदुगाला खरी जेगिदलाना गंजुगी जिसे दी जल्गुदुमादो शुक जेगु मिदुसलन शेसोस.
Is it possible that we are measuring force and weight?
ता दी योंसी रुएलस गंजुगी शुक ता जिसे निगा जेले Yes, it is possible. Jesus said it. So weight is just a like result of gravitational force. It's a gravity force.
Okay.
So we can measure both because by measuring the extension of the rubber band, so we can use this rubber band.
So one idea that we got here is that we can measure both.
Ta thanda nganzu niga jetur lan shigi yorwas. So heavier the weight of the object is, there's a more pull.
There is more pull on the rubber band. The heavier the object is, it stretches the rubber band more.
The kronzo shela ngobo de jise khagas cheo ina thana shi the giga di ma thingi dusla jare dishes mos.
In this situation, am I measuring weight or force?
Ta thanda nedang di do ta ina ni gi khari jel gi yores shuk ji gi yore jise ji gi yores thanda di force. Both, some of them are saying both, some are saying force.
Does the rubber band know who is pulling the string?
The gita di ha hu yore la scuba de su thingi me khari gi thingi me. Yes, it knows.
How does it know?
Khande ha hu yore sti khande shingi yore. Marchi gore? Mare ha shuk ta yor ha hu yor la ra khande ha hu yore. Because it's extending.
So it knows that it is being extended, but does it know if my fingers are extending it or if I have hung something from it?
The Quran da ma thingi yo da gida di chogu yores thana shen di wala zuguji gi thingi yo me da ji yora ngobo khari me di ha hu yores. Yes, it knows. Yeah, the rubber band knows, they're saying.
It knows whether it is my hand or whether it is a weight.
The gita di ha hu yores wal thingi jura di zugu re yana changdo re chik ngobo ji re sha di Quran su da gita di ha hu yores las kam di. No.
No, the rubber band cannot know.
Just like if you were to take a photo of Stamatis' hand when he was interacting with the chair, you could not tell if he was pulling the chair or pushing it away. If you just take a photo of the rubber band and you don't pay attention to what is holding the string, you cannot tell if it's a weight or if it's somebody's hand.
So the pattern that we established was that the larger the force, the greater the extension. Okay, so now what we would like you to do is we would like you to connect two of your force meters to each other. Not like this, because this will remove the tape. So we are going to have one like this and one like this. Okay, and we will connect them. And we're going to give you a paper clip to connect them.
So one under another or like
They can be side by side or
They can be side by side.
okay. Tiny the jana degree and a chick gal chick ni jaya jura. Hande jan jires ni ga jar go res ne. Oh thanda di ni jar song so. Ni jaya di thanda kuba yo. Kuba ni di jar gud. Kuba ni jar gudura. Kuba ni dam shawda. Di jardu la du thanda shobu jinche jua di peju chini jar sumudu.
so you're not like this,
Tende mare song jardang di.
but you can put them separately side by side like this.
This ne ni di dam dam li do miu chi. Khailam di ni thu gu do zo di ni thu gu res. On di thu du ni thu dang shen so. Di ma ther ma shi ya chol ma sha song so phiru ra. Ni the du gal the go ki ra. Char du gal de nis. Hat thwe mal da chu thir.
So here is an example.
Ta di jardang jura pesun ro shawa na dinde ro res jardang di. Ni thu do.
What do we notice?
Ta ngaran su I toship khare chung song sa di chego chen. Parts of thing do. It stretches each other.
They stretch each other. I personally, I really like the question, what do you notice?
Ta chiwa di la gao shu yolas. Kiran su toship khare chung song la jora di la.
Because there's never a wrong answer to that question.
Khai la na di le khare la na len chikran chi yung mares khadyo na le mangbu yung res.
And only you can answer that question.
An thana shi len noro la yo mares an len di gangi di khara rangi kya thu res di len di.
Not only is there no wrong answer, the only person that has the answer to that question is you.
Di la du len noro yo mares so khare toship chodi ma shi go ra len noro la yo mares an thana shi len di so rang ni kya yo res an len di khara chi gu shingi yo res di len di.
So I would like to hear from that group what they have noticed.
Ta rupa phai lo yo sta gyab lo nge kiran zo suwe yin sa kiran zo toship khare chung su ma shero chis kelal.
또 가르쳐 주는 거와 이거 이 파스 텐상이 이 대신이가 이 식찬이 되게
There is an equal force acting on each other.
If I were to ask you to do the same thing and stretch only one of the two rubber bands without touching with your hands, would you be able to do that? One would be stretched, the other one would not be stretched.
Ta labo beje ma chini ro gigda chigran ji the law na kinzo chetu ruelas chig di the je chig di ma the inde yong rues. No, we cannot.
No, we cannot. No, we cannot. That is an important observation.
Di thanda chetu mare sung ro and di toship kechungu ji cha de res.
That's more than an important observation. That's a very important observation.
Kechungu ji gu mare spe kechungu res di toship di.
So now what we would like you to do is we would like you to collaborate with other groups
Ta thanda su su ruha na chale na ro an ruga shimba nyam do di chero ches chodur chini do lega chini.
because you will need now 3 pull meters.
Ta thanda kiran su ruga shimba nyam do nang do wala khachin nang wala na thanda jeche juya shuk jeche sum peju chi gu res sum la do ruga chik la ni ma she mara ruga shimba nyam do ni sum gu res.
So if this is 1 pull meter and this is another pull meter and this is a third pull meter, I would like you to connect to your paper clip this string, and that string.
Ta thanda jelche juya jelche sum peju chiore sungsa thangbo de che niba de che sumba
Here is the paperclip. This is the paperclip.
ta di shaw na
And here are the paper clips in the end. And here is the rubber band.
ta di na ma zo shugu jinche peju chimba chela yo nemo de la tinzo nemo sum di chane res an di gitara sum kuba sum di de tu de res tu du gala yang zo jinche de peju chi yo di jinche res tu dang de res sum tu de
Can I get your attention just for a moment?
ta chama de chik siro na sa
So each of you have a device that looks something like this.
ta chama la yo che de ne ro ji yo ro as ro ga re la chama de ne ro cha de res
This group has a short string here and a longer string here.
ta ro ga dil cha sha na kuba thunga de la dus kuba ringa di wala dus
That's okay.
di khe mare sa de dik dang di
And there's two force meters measuring the force in this way, and there's one force meter in the middle in the other direction.
ta thanda shuk jel che jura di ta du gala ni gi chujo je dus an shuk jel che chik di pha je dus ra chong ni gal
We want you to extend and create a force by pulling on the single force meter that's by itself. In this case, it's the middle one.
ta thanda di ro cha sha na chik lo ga cha de do ta dina cha sha ni ki di cha dus chik khora pha jo tu di ani nga ju shuk gyani ma the jura ya the ni ya ta is
Or the one that Stamatis is pointing to on the board.
ta thanda di cha sha na ki di cha yura ani thanda di carbon gata wa na thanda gela ju su sa di cha de res
But before you do that, when it's sort of all relaxed in your hand, notice the position of the rubber bands.
di la do ende thendu gala su su gi thanda gigta di khawal le me jura ne khawal le du di su su to shi chi gu res
You can have different people in your group even put their finger on the ruler where the edge of the rubber band is.
thanda gigta gi ne jura de la an zu chu ni ta ge res di
And then after you extend it and you hold it in a new position,
di la do thanda di thikshin ki di thyo ai na ya ne shimba ji li ros
measure how much the rubber band has extended.
di ya thendu gala shuk ji gyara di gya du gala gigta di khagas then sha yan di yang ge che ji gyas
How much have these two rubber bands extended compared to how much this rubber band extended?
ta thanda thyo ai na di ni gigta ni ga thengro thana she di gigta thengro di khagas thendu thana she di ni khagas thendu pha du phenju dur go res
And write down what you notice in your book.
andi khagas the me jora su su tu nang jin to ship khari chung me di ma tidep na ma thiru chi square chi
Okay?
seo cha so yesa
So we are going to have you finish your measurement, and we are going to break for lunch.
ta kyan su thanda chego de thanda cha ro yo ra cha wa chi em di je la shila ba sen di sim song song shila pharo chi
And we will all come back in the first session of the afternoon.
ani shila gi je la ani nimbu gyap gi ya cho de thang bo di cha ra de la su rang je jore yes
And we will meet here in this room.
ani nimbu gi je la cho de thara di jinda jinga thara na res
So we are going to see you all at 1:30, and we will start by getting your observations from this experiment.
ani shela pharsen phebe je so de sumba de la ani jinda di go chuk de kheran su gi to ship khari chung me je ra thanda chego din na ba sumba di gi an to ship di kheran su ya she yes
May you have a good meal.
ani shela nyebu na ros